Jeremy Pruitt lost his debut with Tennessee 40-14 on Saturday to West Virginia. Blake Topmeyer and John Adams, the Knoxville News Sentinel, with Joe Rexrode of the Tennessean guys. I guess more bad than good probably, but a little bit of each. What was the encouraging signs you saw, followed by the concerns?
Encouraging signs, running back Tim Jordan, a sophomore, ran really well, really hard, broke 4 tackles on one play, rushed for over 100 yards. I thought an offensive line, revamped offensive line, guys haven't played together hardly at all. I thought they showed promise. Those are the positives. Defense, we wondered how good this defense would be. It was just totally overmatched against West Virginia.
Yeah, what do you think, Joe?
Well, I agree on Jordan. I think Jared Garantano was good. You know, I think when he had time, I thought he looked poised. He threw some good passes out there. I think his receivers are good. You know, I think that offensive line early on, I mean, Brandon Kennedy and those guys inside were really strong. They couldn't block anyone. I think they figured it out. Jeremy Pruitt did make that point afterward that they have had a lot of mixing matching. Some guys come on lately. Agree on the D, and that's where it's, I mean, they had it 10-7 late second quarter getting the ball back. So, like, they were holding the score down as they needed to early. Then in the second half, West Virginia found those matchups against the safeties and exploited them. But it's such a good passing offense. I wouldn't shovel dirt on the defense yet.
Joe, I know you thought the Vols offense could keep them in the game and did some good things at times. For me, it's kind of hard to believe you look at the scoreboard and see that they only scored 2 touchdowns when you look at some Garantano's efficiency, what Tim Jordan did. Overall, just why do you think maybe they weren't able to get just more than a couple scores there?
Well, they had one, you know, in the second half, and then 4th down, they didn't get it. And, you know, they got to finish drives, obviously. I mean, I would say they missed Ty Chandler, but Jordan did a great job. I think they had two best and worst were the consecutive drives. First half, the 4th and goal to get the touchdown, make it 10-7. That was a beautiful play call. I loved going for it there. That was a great 17 plays, 85 yards. That was the high moment. The next, they get a stop, and they're down there at the 40, 2nd and 3 at the 40. They run Madre London twice going right and get stuffed twice, and West Virginia gets the ball back against field. That was a critical moment, I thought, and I don't know if they take the lead, if the outcome is dramatically different, but I would like to see it play out from there because they kind of had West Virginia on their heels a little bit.
John, we've seen Will Greer before, back when he was at Florida, and then we knew, I mean, this guy's a Heisman hopeful, looked like it today, and you thought he might thrive against this Vols secondary that played a lot of youth, and I think mostly he kind of did, but I guess you got to play that youth when I guess you're building toward the future a little bit.
I credit Jeremy Pruitt with playing his best guys.
Yeah.
Talent over experience. I mean, this is going to be a better secondary, you know, 5 or 6 weeks into this season than what Tennessee had last season, because he's playing younger guys. There's no future in playing these experienced guys when you know what they've done in the past. These guys have a bigger upside. But I think you point out something that's significant with Will Greer and a great receiving core. This is not the only really good pitch and catch team Tennessee's going to play. There are a lot of teams. You watch Alabama tonight against Louisville, and Georgia can throw the ball now, and Missouri. Tennessee is going to have to get better fast against these kind of teams.
Lastly, guys, with the quarterbacks, and Garantano played the whole game until the end when Chris came in, and I thought it was telling that Pruitt didn't panic when Garantano struggled there at the beginning, or it was really more of a struggling of the whole offense the first couple drives. I mean, I thought that was the right call. I thought it proved to be the right call, even though, you know, a lopsided loss. I think Garantano is the guy and showed flashes that he can be that going forward. Your thoughts on how he played tonight?
Yeah, I thought he was more decisive than he was last season. He was more accurate than he was last season. He got rid of the ball more quickly than he did last season. So I see pluses with him. However, I still see a ceiling with him. He's not an elite quarterback in the SEC, and Tennessee's going to have to play a lot against a lot of those guys.
And Pruitt said Chris will play some next week against East Tennessee. He's going to play them both. I thought that was interesting that he kind of laid the cards out there tonight.
Which, I mean, I guess that means we can tell what kind of game he thinks it'll be, right? I mean, I think he said you got to develop something there in the backup position, but it's Garantano's game, and I thought he made some good throws. I think Tennessee should have taken more shots, you know, and I'd like to see that more moving forward. I think, you know, I really like Wood Anderson. I think he's a real weapon, and I mean they need to utilize these receivers more, man. They've got some guys who can I think, make plays even against SEC defenses.
Yeah, you're right. Garantano, very efficient, but his yards per throw wasn't very high. Didn't take many shots downfield. For all the coverage of the game, go to govolsextra.com and tennessean.com.